Hello everyone, I am Defesh 3004. Welcome back to Grounded. Thank you for taking the time to hang out with me. I always enjoy hanging out with you. Welcome back to the channel. What we're going to do today before we do get into a Grounded video is I want to go over the updates that happened in Grounded recently so that way you can see, because we have the Super Duper update to go over and then there's one other one that we need to talk about. So let me go and switch to that and we'll get going on that. Okay, so one of the updates that it was they had a Steam free weekend, but that ended on April 30th. But the one before that was the Grounded's newest Super Duper update. And as you can see, there are like a new creature there. Those are the new ones that came in. So let's go ahead and we'll watch the video and then we will go over all of the things that are in the Super Duper update.
We are excited to bring you the next great update to Grounded, rightfully titled
The Super Duper Update!
With this update, we are introducing over 100 new crafting items and buildings to make your bases cozy, new ways to build, many quality of life enhancements, and Wasp, a new terrifying creature to fight. But first, let's check out the titular feature, the Super Duper. Be on the lookout for the newly added Duper disc, which can be found on the story path and installed into the new Super Duper machine located in the Oak Lab. This new equipment will duplicate higher tier equipment and items, including all the smithing upgrades the item has received. After unlocking the ability to operate the Super Duper by locating its disc operation, all other discs found will contain the ability to duplicate items. What is the cost of duplicating items?
Science!
So start scavenging for those discs and store up that raw science to stock up on those equipment pieces and items you can't live without. Are you looking to renovate your base, but worried about how long it will take? Be sure to toggle on the new handy gnat, a gnat you get to control who will help you build your base.
So a lot of people are not very too sure about the handy dandy gnat because they don't think that they really think it, but you have to go into the creative menu and they'll talk about that here in just a quick second.
Handy fellow will be defaulted to on in creative and creative with bug game modes. However, to get them enabled on survival games, you will need to turn that save into a creative game first to activate them. Once enabled, you can activate them via the crafting menu or the construction radial. Along with the handy gnat,
so what that sounds like is if you go into the creative mode, activate it, then you should, I think, be able to activate that in the game to be able to use it for your base building if you want to in the regular game, not the creative. I don't know, I haven't tried, so I couldn't tell you about that, but that's what I think you can do.
You can now utilize the place many action. This ability allows players to press and hold the build action and move their cursor around to place as many structural buildings simultaneously.
That's a pretty cool feature. I do really like that, being able to build a whole bunch of pieces at once. That's really awesome. I do like that feature.
You will be able to relocate walls, floors, roofs, and other structural buildings as long as they are not the sole supporter of another building.
So it's kind of like Conan Exiles, where you can pick up a piece and then move it and not worry about anything that you lose, only if it's not a supporting wall. If it is, then things will come crumbling down, or it may not let you take it at all. So, there is that.
Players will now notice that the Pebblet and Pollen turret have been combined into a single turret called the Acorn turret that can be loaded with different ammo types. While in the turret, you can now see its health. Players who have previously purchased either the Pollen turret or the Pebblet turret will now have access to this new Acorn turret building recipe. After loading their save, players who have bought both turrets will be refunded 4,000 raw science.
So at least they make it fair, so if you did, work for it, at least you'll have 4,000 raw science, and I think that's actually a really good thing. That way you don't have to feel like you got, ripped off of something, or maybe, you just didn't... They didn't treat you well is what I'm trying to say, so, there is that.
Muscle sprouts can now be grown in the garden patch, and more new building pieces can be crafted, such as a bunk bed, a large plank pallet that holds up to 60 grass planks, and a hot tub, which will grant the teens who use it the hot spring status effect.
So I'm really excited about growing the mussel sprouts. I know I need to go down and get some, and then I can start growing them in the garden patch, but I do need to get that going. We also have to build a bed because that will really help with the stats and all that stuff from what I understand. And there's a whole bunch of other stuff here that looks really, really cool too. And there's a cozy effect too, and they'll be talking about that here in just a little bit.
Lastly, for your base, we have added the ability to receive new base rewards and buffs based on the overall coziness of your base. This coziness level will be determined by the number of buildings your base contains and the building types. So in theory, if you build a bigger and better base, you'll receive more buffs for staying inside. These buffs can slow down your hunger and thirst meters and can provide a small healing boost while in your base. While in the proximity of buildings that provide coziness, a unique UI will pop up that will show you your current cozy level and how much progress you have to move to the next level, which will grant you with new buffs and rewards as you move up. These rewards will be furniture recipes, unique emotes, or special perks, all of which are not attainable anywhere else in the game.
So at least they're not putting in microtransactions and all that kind of stuff where you have to go buy things. They're putting them in there, and there's a chance that you can do, you can get one of those things instead of buying microtransactions, which I'm not a fan of microtransactions, to each their own. But I'm just really not a huge fan of that. So I think that's pretty cool. They're putting that stuff in, and there's a chance you can get one of those things. I think that's pretty awesome.
New achievements have been added for players to discover, and there are also 5 new mutations to unlock. We have added the ability to configure 4 mutation loadouts so you can quickly swap between them using the new combat radial. When looking at your custom game options, you will notice that the recipe unlocked and free option has been split into 2 separate options: all recipes unlocked and all recipes free. And as mentioned previously, you will also find the option to enable the handy nap. And great news for players that are on the go. Grounded is now Steam Deck verified. Get ready to buzz with excitement as wasps invade the yard. These hostile enemies will surely sting, and caution should be used when attempting to meet them in the upper yard. If you locate their nests and mess with them too much, you'll release the full fury of the hive. For those players looking for a harder challenge, you will be able to venture into the wasp nest and meet the Wasp Queen, the newest creature boss to enter the backyard. Take down this queen to unlock new items for you to craft, such as a new armor set and trinket to wear. Good luck, you're gonna need it.
So I really like that the wasps are only in the upper yard. I missed that part earlier. I didn't think about that, but I thought they were going to be somewhere in the yard, the lower yard. But they're only in the upper yard, so by that time you should have some pretty good armor to help take care of yourself. But they're going to be a new enemy and probably fairly difficult to deal with as well.
All this and more are waiting for you in the Super Duper 1.2 update. Hop in when you can and continue your tiny adventure in the backyard. And as always, stay safe and stay grounded.
Okay, so that was that, and as you got to see, that was a pretty interesting little video. So you can duplicate high tier items, and I think that's really cool. I don't know where the chip is. I look like it's on a chair somewhere, but I don't exactly know where that is. And since it's high tier items, probably have to go into the middle to upper yard, maybe the sandcastle or something like that, the sandbox, to find it. I don't know. So new features and improvements. So you can see some of this stuff here. Coziness and all of that. So you can make a base really cozy and get perks from that. And lots of base decor. So all kinds of new things. Still only 4 characters. So, there is that. And the handy dandy gnat that helps you build your base. He will build things for you as you direct him where you want him to go. And unfortunately, I don't know if it's in the base non-creative game. It could be activated. I don't know. I may go and look at it sometime, but I'm not going to get too worried about it right now. And of course you can tear down walls and rebuild walls or a bunch of other stuff, and that's really, really exciting. I really, really do like that part a lot. Then of course the turret improvements, and there's all kinds of different things that you can load in. Looks like 6 different things that you can put in there, so you can shoot at the enemies and try to take them out. I think that's actually really awesome. And then, of course, the wasps. So let me know what you think about this update. Plus, it's also Steam Deck verified, and I think that's really, really awesome. New features, wasps swarm the yard, and new boss, wasp queen, and super duper item duplication machine. Again, I don't know where that chip is, but there is that. And that's what we looked at in the lab, the last video. So if you want to check that out, you can. And then you can chillax at your base, and of course that's with the coziness level, so that's kind of interesting. And then all mutations unlocked if you get that, which is only in creative, and I don't know that'll swap over to the stable, the non-creative regular world or not. And there's fully yolk star with all milk molar infusion, so you can do all this stuff in creative. As far as I know, it's only in creative, but I really don't know. Loot luck, and then increases the chance of obtaining rare drops and receive more loot in general. Turret improvement, rocky rounds, pebble rounds, and groundy rounds, sticky turret rounds that don't do a lot of damage but can ground flying insects. And this can push targets back with the rocky rounds. A pointy round, sharp and simple, very small cooldown between shots. Sappy rounds, gooey rounds that are perfect for slowing down enemy crawlers, so you can go out and maybe do some attacks or something. Burny rounds, hot little suckers that can set the ground around them ablaze, so they'll take damage with that. And then splody rounds. Splody rounds, that's funny. I like that. They explode, enough said. So you can have exploding rounds that'll hurt the enemies. Pollen turret recipe and pollen turret science entry have been removed, so you cannot build a pollen turret or the other turret, so you can only get the one turret, the acorn turret, so you don't go looking for those anymore. And if you purchase the pollen or pebblet turret, you will have the acorn turret building recipe, and you'll also be refunded 4,000 raw science. Yoked gardening, mussel sprouts can be grown in the garden patch now, and new achievements, 3 new achievements added related to the new features and content. Photo mode, Steam Deck support, and all kinds of other stuff. And there's a lot of stuff here. As you can see, there's way too much to go over. It would take a long time to go over that. And milk molar upgrades, so it's previously and now, so it goes up to 105 from 80 to 105 then. 80 then to 105 now. And the same thing with the stamina. This has been from 55 to 75, so basically it went up 20 by 5 each, and this one went up. Still starts the same, but it goes up by 5 every time, so it goes up a little bit higher, 5, 10, it's like about 15 and 10, and then of course another 5 on top of that. Hunger and thirst rates have been rescaled, so 80, 70, 60, 55, and now it's 80, 65, 55, 50, 45. So it's 80%, then you can go all the way down to 45%. Healing upgrades, 15, 30, 45, 60, 75. Now it's 20, 35, 45, 50, and 55. So it looks like they did scale that back, so that way, you can't nerf things, all that kind of thing. Can't spam it or whatever to, they nerfed it, but you can't spam it to get more. I actually prefer this, but this does start out higher. And you get more, but you have a maximum of 55%, not 75%. So it is what it is. Creatures have a stagger cooldown to prevent them from being stun locked, ranging from 1 second to 20 seconds, depending on the tier of the creature. Perfect blocks now deal significantly more stun damage to flying creatures. I have never done the perfect blocks. It's really hard to do from what I understand, but I don't know. And then bosses. There is a brood mother has been updated to provide slightly harder challenge, and you can no longer hurt the brood mother as she slowly descends from the ceiling. So apparently you could, now you can't. And there's all kinds of changes in here. It is a massive, massive list. Way more things to go over than we really have time to do. So yeah, this will take quite a long time to go through. If you want to go through this, I'll try to remember to link this certain page in the if I can in the description. If not, you will have to scroll through at the store page and go check that out, which I'll try to link in the description. And then there was one other update that I wanted to show you as well, and that update was Welcome to May, where we celebrate Brood Mother's Day. I do believe that was the one. Okay. Full Brood Mother equipment set has been added. Chest of the Mother Demon and Greaves of the Mother Demon, and Brood Mother mutation additional effect. The mom genes will now also increase all poison damage you deal by a large amount, on top of allowing you to summon spiderlings to fight alongside you, so you can do that. May sign set and new boss, Infected Broodmother. That's right, the said Broodmother isn't the only mom in town, and we'll be celebrating the arrival of the moldy matriarch this Broodmother's Day month as well. This is not just for Mother's Day, so the affected broodmother stays hidden deep in the bowels of the haze, waiting for a poor soul to set her free. This new epic boss is a permanent addition to the game, not just for the month of May, and will test your backyard skills to the limit. So there's a worse broodmother than the regular broodmother, so that's going to be not much fun, but if you go to the Hedge Lab, you'll be able to find them somewhere in there. I don't know where, but they are somewhere in there. Full equipment set related to the infected broodmother, one new weapon to craft, one new trinket to obtain, one new achievement for killing the infected broodmother, and new buildings. Affected broodmother throne, brazier, brood stuffed infected broodmother, and infected broodmother wall mount. And then different bug fixes and changes. So there was this. This is the update news that I was telling you about. So you can see that. And I will link in the description the grounded page so you can go and see that. And hopefully you can find this okay. I will try to see if I can link these different things in here where it has all the updates. And hopefully I will be able to. Hope you enjoyed this. If you did, drop a like on the video if you enjoyed this update video, and we will be getting into some grounded here real soon.